Unicron gives the best sukies.
So, Cliffjumper and Jazz are great fellas, eh? They were there from the very beginning, showing up in the first episode of the G1 cartoon. They were great characters, weren't they? Mind Cliffjumper trying to assassinate Megatron with that big sniper cannon thing. Absolutely shite shot though, missed him by a bloody mile. He just alerted the Decepticons to his location and ended up getting poor Hound chucked off a cliff. Jazz was super cool. Voiced by legend Scatman Crothers, he was a cool-headed and competent soldier in the Autobot army. He was positioned as second in command to Optimus Prime, telling all his pals to transform in that. What a great guy, despite his position in middle management. Both of our boys were positioned on Moonbase 2 during the events of the 1986 movie. I bet they were having a great old time, chatting, reminiscing, playing various board games, before the biggest prick in the universe, Unicron, turned up and destroyed their lovely wee home they made together, soaking it in like the reverse of the big bad wolf. Despite it looking very bleak for our robo-chums, it turned out they had survived the process of being sucked off a planet and munched up alongside huge chunks of metal. They ended up on wee hooks inside Unicron's tummy, and just when they were about to be melted in a cauldron of pink stomach acid, they were saved by Daniel in his exosuit. Just about the only useful thing that wee arsehole had ever done, and it was a complete accident. Embarrassing for Cliffjumper and Jazz, really. Anyway, these wee fellas are bloody awesome. We have Earthrise Cliffjumper and Studio Series 86 Jazz. Don't they look bloody amazing together? I had quite a hard time getting these wee fellas, as I didn't start collecting until halfway through 2022, so these boys were long gone at that point. Thank Primus for eBay and folk not charging honking amounts of money. Let's not thank Primus though for parcel delivery simpletons every, as Jazz had been in transit since the start of December. Seriously, do not get anything delivered by these absolute jobby munching chimpanzees. Let's start with Cliffjumper, eh? Our wee red rascal is suitably tiny when compared to the rest of his robo-chums, coming up to Netflix Prime's waist. His robot mode is a dead ringer to his depiction in the G1 cartoon, down to his wee horned helmet, car roof chest, and big stompy bonnet clown shoes. I do kind of hate that he's missing his Autobot badge in his chest though. Anyway, I love the deep burgundy colour of this wee boy. It contrasts well with his blue tinted windscreen. His articulation is great and he can pull off some amazing wee poses. He comes with this massive bazooka that kind of resembles the gun he used to try and kill Megatron. It's pretty cool, but due to Cliffjumper's diminutive stature, he struggles to hold it in any kind of convincing way. The size of the gun makes me think old Cliffjumper here might be overcompensating for something. Like his tiny, little, almost minuscule car mode. Cliffjumper transforms into this tiny little muscle car. I really don't know what it was originally based on, nor do I care, but it looks great. Like a tiny wee road rocket for a miniature Vin Diesel to do some Tokyo drifts in or something. Transformation is a bit cumbersome due to the rear of the car parts forming, but I actually don't mind it too much. It's a lot more satisfying than transforming Studio Series Cup, who just falls into an assortment of limbs when you even think about touching him. It's not very G1 in terms of design though. Cliffjumper's alt mode was a wee penny racer thing that was as cute as a button. I do prefer that aesthetic, but this is a close second best. The alt modes for all the tiny fellas in the War for Cybertron line feel a bit off. I really don't like the look of Bumblebee as a result. Bumblebee's alt mode should be a tiny wee thing, but this is just a straight up VW Beetle. This buzzworthy core class has a better alt mode, but its shape's all wrong. I'd love to see new interpretations of Cliffjumper and Bumblebee with accurate, cute wee alt modes, but until that happens, Earthrise Cliffjumper is the best we can do for now. I totally forgot that you can take the weapon apart and you can make this hovercraft thing with Cliffjumper too. Pure shite in it. Let's move on to Studio Series 86 Jazz. What a handsome boy we have here. He's a dead ringer for his show model and looks bloody awesome. I love his wee pointy visor, his car bonnet uniboob, and his wee wheel ankles. In terms of looks, I have no complaints. Even his backpack is rather clean, despite being a folded up top of car made from painted clear plastic. The only small complaint I have with Jazz, that in robot mode his shoulders are a wee bit loose and wibbly. I suppose it fits his cool, calm and collected character that he'd be loose in the shoulders, and not a constantly tense, anxious mess of worry and regret like myself. Posability in Jazz is great, and he can pull off some amazing wee poses. He looks especially awesome with Cliffjumper here, eh? Jazz comes with a standard gun, unlike Cliffjumper. It's pretty generic and plain. Not too much to say about it. Unlike Jazz's spectacular car mode. Transformation is a fun wee process, even though it can be a bit fiddly getting everything tabbed in, especially the back windscreen. When you're done though, you're left with this gorgeous animation accurate car mode. I am just living for this cool wee thing. The only difference from the animation model is the missing stripes on the rear wheel arches. I could live without them. Also, the number 14 displayed in Jazz here isn't the same as the number 4 from the cartoon and the original G1 toy. I heard it's something to do with lawsuits over the actual car he was based on. Blah 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 blah. Don't care. A wee Easter egg though is that the robot that became Jazz was listed as the 14th released in the Diaclone toy line. That's pure geeky. I love it. So, would I recommend this wee twosome? Of course I would. Currently, they are the very best at this scale class and are both essential in completing your collection of 86 movie bots. They look great together and will be a sure highlight of any display. Truly great wee boys. Now, let's hope Unicron doesn't come along and soak these fellas up again. Anyway, you guys have a great night. Catch you later.